Welcome to today's explainer. Listen, when we think of traditional folklore or ancient fairy tales, we usually expect a pretty rigid formula, right? You've got your princess in distress, a magical curse, and of course, a daring prince who swoops in at the last minute to save the day. But the narrative we're unpacking today completely flips that script. It actually bridges the gap between ancient magic and modern entrepreneurship in just the most unexpected way. So, let's dive right in.
How exactly did a voiceless princess build a global beauty empire? That is the journey we're tracking today. We are breaking down the tale of 6 princesses and their sister, Princess Hurain Fatima. And I'll tell you right now, this isn't just a story about surviving a curse. It's really a blueprint of resilience. It details how a totally devastating personal sacrifice was transformed into massive entrepreneurial success. So if you're ready to see how a classic heroine's journey ends up with the opening of a royal makeup salon and spa, well, let's get started.
Section 1. The Sultanate of Noor.
All right, before things go completely sideways, we need to set the stage and understand the world our characters live in. This was a remarkably peaceful, stunningly beautiful realm. It was famous everywhere for its towering minarets, these magnificent golden doors, and gardens where the flowers literally never stopped blooming. Ruling over this utopian land were Sultan of Zal, known for his bravery and deep sense of justice, and Queen Maharu, beloved for her kind heart, and together they had 6 incredibly strong, lion-hearted sons. First up is Ahmed, the eldest and most serious. His job was protecting the entire Sultanate. Then you've got Ali Hassan, a gifted musician whose voice was practically magic itself. Abdul Rahman was the intellectual scholar, a master of old books. Abdullah was the unmatched archer. Next is Subhan, easily the most lively and mischievous of the bunch. And finally Hadi, the youngest but exceptionally intelligent. Together, these 6 brothers form this perfect, impenetrable shield around their family.
But the true core of this family, the absolute center of their universe, was the youngest sibling, Princess Hurain Fatima. Her beauty was so radiant it was said to make the moon shy, and her smile physically brightened the palace halls. And her brothers? They absolutely adored her. Ahmed taught her horseback riding, Ali Hassan sang her new songs, Subhan brought her these rare flowers from the deep forest, and Hadi would just sit with her in the gardens. Like her father, Sultan Afzal often said, his daughter was the true fortune of the Sultanate, and her 6 brothers were her shield.
Section 2. The Poisonous Golden Chest.
Now, every good story needs a catalyst, right? An inciting incident that just throws the whole world out of balance. For the Sultanate of Noor, this moment dropped on what seemed like a totally ordinary evening, right at sunset. A mysterious traveler shows up at the palace gates and hands a tarnished, golden chest to the Sultan, claiming it holds a secret to magnify their power. Sounds great, but the consequence was horrifying. The very next morning, Hurain wakes up to a terrifying, dead silence. She runs out to the royal gardens looking for her brothers, and she doesn't find 6 princes. Instead, she finds 6 beautiful white deer with tears in their eyes, just looking helplessly at her.
So what actually happened in the dark? Well, remember Subhan, the mischievous brother? He just couldn't resist his curiosity and he opened the stranger's chest. Instantly, this toxic blue smoke billowed out, completely flooding the palace and trapping the brothers in a dark spell. Seeing her fiercely protective brothers reduced to these helpless deer, Hurain immediately realizes this was a targeted attack by an unseen enemy. And right then and there, she places her hands on their heads and makes an unbreakable vow. She's going to bring them back, even if it costs her her life.
Section 3. Quest to Black Mountain.
Listen, the princess doesn't sit around waiting for a hero to arrive. She becomes the hero. She sets out completely alone toward Ko-Asiya, the ominous Black Mountain, to break this curse. And her grueling quest boils down to 3 brutal steps. Step 1 is the physical toll. The mountain slopes are impossibly steep and jagged, totally tearing up her hands, but the memory of her brother's tears just pushes her upward. Step 2 is the psychological torment. She has to navigate this dark, silent cave where the mountain literally conjures fake voices of her brothers to terrorize her and break her spirit, but she refuses to turn back. And finally, step 3, the arrival. At the absolute peak, she finds 6 glowing stones. But they aren't just rocks. They are pulsating, beating exactly like her brother's trapped hearts.
Section 4. A Sister's Silent Sacrifice.
But reaching the top is really only half the battle, because now she has to pay the toll. As she steps toward the beating stones, the mystical guardian of the mountain appears and drops a totally crushing ultimatum. To free these hearts, you must sacrifice your most precious thing. Wow, that is a heavy, devastating moment. But Hurain doesn't hesitate for long. She searches her soul to figure out what her most precious asset truly is, knowing she has to give it away forever to save her family. And the answer? Her voice. The very voice she used to laugh and talk with her brothers in the gardens. To save them, she agrees to a lifetime of silence. I want you to really think about the magnitude of that choice. In a lot of fairy tales, a voice is stolen by a villain, right? But here, it's given away willingly out of profound, unconditional love.
Let's map out exactly how this goes down. First, she reaches out and touches the glowing stones. Second, her voice is immediately, permanently extinguished. Third, the dark magic completely shatters. And fourth, her brothers are instantly restored to their human forms. Ahmet, the eldest protector, rushes in to embrace his sister, completely weeping as they all realize the staggering, permanent price she just paid for their freedom.
Section 5. The Royal Makeup Salon. Okay, now this is where our explainer takes a really sharp, fascinating pivot. They head back to the Sultanate of Nur, to absolute jubilation. Her eldest brother Ahmed steps up and declares that since she sacrificed her voice for them, they are going to spend the rest of their lives making her every single dream a reality. And the way she pivots here is absolutely brilliant. Hiraine can't speak, sure, but she still has magic in her hands. She opens the Royal Makeup Salon and Spa right near the royal court. Her talent is so off the charts that queens and princesses are traveling from distant kingdoms just to get styled by her. And she's not doing it alone. Her brothers literally become her executive board. Ahmed uses his leadership skills to run the business operations, while Suphan, the lively brother who loved finding rare forest flowers, he takes over research and development, creating brand new cosmetics for her salon. The voiceless princess literally turns into a thriving, empowered CEO.
Section 6. Love, Magic, and Success. As the Royal Makeup Salon blows up and gains global fame, the royal family's joy just multiplies. Sultan Afzal decides, you know what, it's time for the next chapter for his 6 brave sons. And that number 6 represents full circle completion in our story here. The Sultan finds 6 beautiful, kind-hearted princesses from across the lands, and they throw the biggest celebration in the history of the Sultanate, a massive joint royal wedding where all 6 brothers are married on the exact same day. Which brings us to the ultimate triumph. Picture this. On the day of the grand wedding, Hiraine herself is doing the bridal makeup for all 6 of her new sisters-in-law. She's standing there, surrounded by the brothers she saved and the massive family that blossomed from her sacrifice. She can't speak a single word of congratulations, but her glowing eyes and her soaring business success prove that a sister's courage and love can shatter absolutely any dark magic. Her brothers became her voice, and she completely won the world through her art and her sheer entrepreneurial drive. So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought. Magic might just be a fairy tale, but how can courage and love transform your own reality? Princess Hiraine lost her voice, but she absolutely never lost her agency. She used her skills, her family's support, and just pure resilience to build an empire out of a tragedy. It's such an incredible reminder of how we can rewrite our own narratives. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this brilliant story today, and hey, keep looking for those empowering twists in the narratives around you.